All right, and we are live. So welcome everyone to our Team Tough Hangout, and this is also called the Down and Dirty at 1:30. If you are a first timer to this show, I just want to first of all welcome you. We do these calls every Monday at 1:30 Central Time, so feel free to jump on. And for those of you who've been with me for a while, we've got some really juicy extreme value content that I'll be providing for you today. So get ready, get your notebooks ready, because you're definitely going to want to take some notes. These are things that I typically only share with my all-in crowd, but I really just wanted to provide some extreme value to you and help you as you embark on your journey for the first time as an online entrepreneur. If you're not yet an online entrepreneur, then a lot of the stuff I'm going to go over today may be a little over your head, just to forewarn you. However, you're welcome to sit in, just take some notes. And if you are in the process of determining if this is something you'd like to do and becoming an online entrepreneur or freedompreneur, then I encourage you to click on the link below. You'll see a button that says Join Team Tough, and there you can get in contact with me, and we will teach you the things that you need in order to be successful online. So again, welcome, and let's get started. All right, I've got all kinds of notes up on my page, and I am going to flip it around about midway here through this presentation so that you can see my screen. But for now, let's start off with some introductions. First of all, today's topic is a quick method to get new free leads today. All right, so we're going to show you the exact step-by-step process where you can start getting leads to your business opportunity right now, today. So hope you're ready, because it's going to be a little bit step-by-step. You're going to have to take some notes, but it's something that's so simple, you'll kick yourself for not have done it already. All right, so first of all, who am I? What gives me the understanding of how to share this with you? Well, first of all, I am an online entrepreneur, internet entrepreneur, or freedompreneur. And I'm also a mom. I'm a mom of 2 sons, and I'm a martial artist. One of my passions in life has always been the karate, specifically traditional Shorin-ryu karate. So for those of you that are out there that are martial artists, kudos to you. It's something that I do, and I actually run a studio here locally in Branson, Missouri. I am also known as the Tough Mama. The name of my team is Team Tough, and Tough is actually an acronym. It stands for Tough, Unstoppable, Fearless, and Free, which is something that I aspire to inspire you to become if you are not that already. So a little background. It will be 2 years, let's see, August of 2013 is when I started this adventure as an online freedompreneur. And ever since, I have been a full-time work-from-home freedompreneur. I have not gone back in the workforce. Prior to that, I was laid off from a long-term executive management career in the digital publishing industry. So I basically worked for online newspapers for, let's see, about 16 years prior to doing this business. So I had a little bit of background, but I want to tell you something for those of you that are looking into becoming an online internet entrepreneur. One of the things that you may not realize is you really don't need to have a background in digital media or marketing in order to be successful. In fact, in some ways, I think it might have hindered me a little bit, because I came to the table thinking I already knew what to do in the online world instead of coming at it with an open mind, because I learned a lot more once I opened my mind and said, you know what, teach me. I'm ready to learn some new things. And then I really, really took off. So basically, I've learned a lot about what works and what doesn't work in an online environment, and I'm still learning. And as I learn new things, I like to share that with people that are coming into the business or are currently on my team and in the business now. My biggest joy is seeing others have success, because when I see them have success, and I know that in some small way I played a part in that, it really it makes me feel good. It's like my passion is helping others to experience the type of unstoppable, fearless freedom that I've created in my own life. So let me give you a little analogy that kind of helped me when I started thinking about internet entrepreneurship. Basically, I equate online success to fishing and cooking. I know it sounds funny, doesn't it? So I love to do both, actually. I love to fish, and I absolutely love cooking. And I'll explain. So let's start with the fishing analogy. So if any of you are fishermen or women out there, in order to catch fish, you have to have good bait, right? You can't just throw a hook out there. You have to have something on there that the fish want to eat, right? And you also have to have the correct bait or the right bait for the type of fish that you want to catch. For instance, if you want to catch catfish, a good stink bait will help you much better than if you wanted to catch a bass, because a bass is not going to be interested in stink bait. So just giving you that analogy there. And you also have to know, if you're fishing, where to fish for the type of fish that you hope to catch. You know, if you're, again, let's use that bass and catfish analogy there. If you are a fisherman, you know that if you're looking for catfish, typically they're very, very deep. When it's the heat of the day, they're going to be very, very deep, and they like very muddy waters. They're kind of sucker fishes. Okay, so you would want to fish there if you were trying to pick up catfish. If you're hunting for bass, then you would want to fish where there's weeds and lots of fresh water, a place where they might want to lay their eggs. So you're going to fish near tree stumps and things like that for bass versus catfish. Okay, so I know a little bit about fishing here, but and if you're not a fisherman, you're probably like, what is she talking about? But you get the idea that in business, it's the same thing. If you want to have success, you really have to know where to look for the people that are interested in what you have to offer. Okay, so there's my fishing analogy. So now let's talk a little bit about the cooking analogy. So in cooking, if you want to create a gourmet meal, you need a recipe, or a series of recipes actually. And if you follow those recipes, then you should have similar results to what a gourmet chef has produced. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to have identical results. You know, that's impossible. You know, you may not have the right cookware or pan. Your oven may not be accurate when you're baking, or you may substitute an ingredient because you don't have the right ingredient on hand. So you obviously are not going to have the identical meal, but you can produce similar results. Or there's actually a recipe for creating online success. Just like in a perfectly planned gourmet meal, there are actually several dishes, and there's a process and an order in which you create each dish of the meal. Well, it's the same in your online business. In order to have that successful online business, you need to take steps in order to achieve that, and you need to follow a recipe. If you try to make your own recipe, you may have good results, you may not. All right. And I think that's where a lot of people get hung up, is they say, oh, I already know how to cook, or I already know something about online. I'm going to do it my way. I want to make it my way. And it may work, it may not. And, for me, I wanted something that I was going to have good results right off the bat. So that's why I followed the recipe that was given to me. Okay. And the other thing I think is important for everyone to understand, using that cooking analogy, is that if you want to become a gourmet chef, it doesn't happen overnight, does it? No, it doesn't. It takes years of practice and preparing many, many dishes over time. Now, I'm not saying that all gourmet chefs take years. Some of them are just naturally, they have that aptitude and they pick things up quickly. And it's the same in this online business. If you come into it thinking, oh, I'm going to be an online entrepreneur overnight, and I'm going to be wealthy overnight, then you're kidding yourself. Now, there are people that just have, I wouldn't say overnight. I don't know anyone that's done it overnight. At minimum, I've seen 90 days. But I want to share with you that you need to have a certain attitude when you come into business, that you're really focusing on learning and taking action as you learn. So what I'm going to give you today, if you want to have success with this recipe that I'm going to give you today, you need to take action immediately. Don't just take notes right now and then say, oh, I'll do this, next week, because you'll forget some of the steps. So what I recommend is write it down, save this recording when it's done, because I am recording this, and then take action immediately. And you'll find that you'll start to have success. You'll start to get leads. So that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus just on generating leads. And that's the very first part of preparing your gourmet meal, if we must, for our online entrepreneur business. So you want to start collecting leads on a daily basis. You've got to have those leads coming in. Otherwise, your funnel, and we all have a marketing funnel, right? Your marketing funnel, the top of that funnel is collecting email addresses. And as you connect those email addresses, then you start to make sales. And then they come out the bottom into a customer. And that's what you want. You want to have as many emails coming in on a regular basis, because only a small portion of those are going to actually convert into sales, okay, or customers. So let's talk about that. Let's get started. I'm going to flip my screen around now at this point, and I'm going to show you what I've got going on. So give me a second here. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. By the way, I don't think I said it, but underneath this video, you'll see there's an area where you can actually chat and be a part of this presentation. I encourage you to register, log in, write something in there. I may not answer it right away because it's kind of hard for me to do both at the same time, but I will answer you. And of course, if you got an email invitation to this, you're welcome to reply back to that email, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. All right, we are almost ready here to flip around. Okay, I think we got it here. I've got a few things up. Moving on. And that's the bonus. Okay. All right, here we go. So I want to talk about this kind of like we're building that recipe, just in the cook analogy. So the first thing that you need are the ingredients, right? So I made some notes here to help you out. So your first ingredients you need to have already are, you need to have a domain name or a subdomain. Okay, and let me explain the difference. A domain name would be something like your domain or your name. I guess I should probably write that, your name. So it could be yourname.com or gift.yourname.com, okay? And gift would be the example of a subdomain. So you need to understand how to create those domain names and subdomains. If you're not familiar with it, I have done a training in the past. Be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel that I'm recording this on, and then you can look through there and through all my videos, and you'll find one on masking domains, because you're going to need to know how to do that. The second thing that you're going to need is a GetResponse account or a lead management tool. This is pinnacle in order to have success in the online world. If you're trying to manage emails through a program like Outlook or your Gmail account or Yahoo account or some mail account like that, you are looking for trouble, because number one, if you send too many, like if you send out an email through one of those email clients that has, I don't know, 100 or more names in the BCC field or the CC field, you're going to get blocked. When that email goes over to whoever you're sending it to, they're going to see all those other emails in there, even if they're hidden, and they're going to block you. And then you'll get put on a blacklist, and then you won't be able to send any email from that email account that you used. So how do you avoid that? You need to have an email provider service or lead management service like GetResponse is the one I use. And I'll give you some links here if you'd like, so that you can get access to these. And there are others out there. There's, let me see, Constant Contact was one I used to use in the past. I think there's one called, let's see, MailChimp. I've used that one in the past. Those are some of the others, but GetResponse is great. There's Aweber. That's another big one that a lot of people have used. But I really, I mean, I'm not their salesperson or anything, but I really like GetResponse. It's much easier to use, and I've had great success with it. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, let me pull something up here for you. On my main website at teamtough.com, I actually have a section called Tools, and that's right over here in the left rail. Now, I do get like a discount or compensation of some kind if you click on any of these, and this is good for you. If you have your own website, I encourage you, if you have any of these products, to add an affiliate link onto your website so that your friends, family, and colleagues can get those from you. But if you don't have GetResponse, for example, you can come in here and you do get a month free, I believe, if you use my link. And then we also have some other tools I'm going to go over, such as Leadpages, ClickFunnels. I use FreshBooks for my accounting, and then of course Dropbox. If you don't have a Dropbox account, that's a great place to store files and do backups of important documents. All right, so let me go back to my steps here. Okay, the other one is you need an opt-in page. An opt-in page is also called a squeeze page or an email capture page. And this can actually be created in your GetResponse account. If you don't have Leadpages or ClickFunnels, which is another program that you can use that I just showed you, those two programs are going to automatically help you create an opt-in page or or email capture page. Okay, or squeeze page. Everybody calls them something different. I call them opt-in pages, but these are basically a page that gives folks an area where they can enter in their email address. And I'm going to show you some examples here in just a moment as well. All right, the other thing you need as your ingredient, you need a free gift. And this is all going to tie together here momentarily, but one of the keys to getting leads is to offer something of value to your list or to people that are following you on Facebook. And when you offer something of value, they're more likely to exchange their email to get that free gift. So here are some examples of your free gift, or baked, if you're going back to the fishing analogy. You can get a document. You can have a document that has some helpful information on it. Perhaps you have an ebook. And I should put E there. You should have an ebook that you can have them download for free. Or maybe you want to give a class, like a webinar. You could have a link that allows them to sign up to receive a link to watch your webinar. Very similar to what you did. If you're watching my Hangout right now, notice in order to get access to the Hangout, you had to sign up. You had to enter your email address so that I could send you a link to this Hangout. Isn't that cool? Now, I know most of you are already on my team, so it's not a big deal, but I do like to know who watches my Hangouts, and so that's why I have everybody sign up as well. Or you can offer a tool. Perhaps you have an app or some other tool that you use that's helped you in your business. You could give a portion of it away for free, or the whole tool away for free, depending on how long it took you to create it, of course. And that's going to help drive more traffic and in turn allow you to capture more emails. All right, and then the last ingredient that I recommend is having some kind of storage system or space for your free gift. The ones I usually use are Dropbox, which is a great place to store things. And the thing I love about Dropbox is that it automatically creates a link that you can share with people. And it's kind of a unique link, and it keeps it secure. The other one is Google Docs, or I think they call it Google Play now. You can create a document such as a Word type document or Excel spreadsheet or PowerPoint. You could have that all created in your Google Docs and then get the link directly to that page, create a share link so that you can link people to that. All right, so you can probably tell, or I hope you can, from the ingredients as to kind of the process that we're going to use to get you some leads today. All right, so let me just spell it out for you. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to create a page on your website or somewhere else where people have to enter their email address. Now, the whole reason they're going to enter their email address is because on that page, you're going to say to them, you're going to be giving them a free gift. Now the free gift is, up to you, but I'm going to give you some ideas here in just a moment. And then once they enter their email address, it's going to automatically take them to a page where they can get that free gift. And on the tail end, because you have their email address, you're going to set up an autoresponder, which is an email that automatically goes out to them that'll contain a link back to that free gift and a welcome message letting them know, that you're happy to have them on your list. Here's their free gift. Okay, so now you have their emails. So that's kind of the whole process that we're going to do today. And I'm going to give you some examples now, and then we're going to go from there. So let me show you what I mean by free gift. Here's one that I just created, and I thought I had it up, but I don't think I do. Okay, and if you want to look at this one on your own, the URL is freedom.toughmama.com. And I was testing this earlier with my other email address. All right, so basically this is one in which anyone who comes to this page, they're going to get access to a free ebook. This is a Freedompreneur book that we've been allowed to co-author with Rhonda Swan, and she's one of my mentors and friends. So some of you that are on my team or are all-in members, you also got access to this book. If you were at the recent mastermind that we had in Nashville, which was a week ago or so. So this is a great way to get people to provide both their name and email address, because they're going to get access to this book. So that's one example. Another thing that I've done, and I'll show you the actual result of it, is go here. I created a document that was how to define your vision. This is kind of old. It's over a year ago now, but it's still very relevant today. And this document, it asks a number of questions to help somebody who's trying to create a vision for their life, which, if you're not familiar with this, vision is one of the most important steps to creating a successful business. If you don't have a vision, then it's almost impossible to know where you're going with your business and your life. So this document, I think it's 4 pages. Yeah, it's 4 pages, and it asks a number of questions that that person or you would answer in order to create your vision. And at the end, it will help you to shape a sentence or phrase for your vision for your business. And I'm going to actually, as a bonus, if you stick around to the end of this hangout, I'm going to give you access to this, and you can actually use this for bait on your own site. I will warn you though, you may want to adjust it and take off my logo and put your own logo, and put your own name and stuff up here. And I wouldn't even put a date to keep it evergreen. Remove the date. Okay, so I'm going to give you access to that at the end. I'll give you a link that you can use to get this very easily. Another idea is you can use existing books that are out of copyright. So let me give you an example. Many of you who are in the same business I'm in, you might know a fellow by the name of Paul Hutchings. He's an incredible entrepreneur and inspirational speaker who hosts a daily call Monday through Friday called Think and Grow Rich. And his call, it's typically a reading from one of Napoleon Hill's books. Now, here's the cool thing. On his website, he offers copies or free downloads of these books from Napoleon Hill and Wallace D. Wattles. And I believe there's some others, so James Allen. So there's a bunch of different books and things that are here that you can click on and download for free. And because these books are out of copyright, in other words, they're so old that they no longer have a copyright on them, you can actually offer them for free. So that's a really neat thing. And there is actually a special name for that, but I couldn't remember what it was. If you do know it, write it below. But there's a special name for books that no longer are under the copyright laws because of how old they are. In fact, you can even look them up. One of the things that I've done in the past is I've actually used books that fall into that as free gifts. So a way that I've done it is I've actually gone into like Google and done a search for Creative Commons books. And when you do a search for Creative Commons books, you can find books that you're allowed to use. And let me just click on the wiki here. You can use them as long as you give the license, the Creative Commons license, somewhere on that book. And Creative Commons means that the person who wrote it is willing to let you use their book or give it away for free as long as you say where you got it. And that's where this Creative Commons license comes in. And you can actually go in and tag those books in many cases with your own logos and things like that in order to make them more custom to you and your business. This is a great way for you to have some good content to give away to people. All right, so I'm going to go back to the steps now. All right, so there's a few assumed skills that you're going to need in order to pull this off, in order to get the most leads. So the first thing is you do need to have a basic understanding on how to mask a domain, because when you set up your opt-in page and GetResponse, you want to set it up and you want to use your own URL. And the reason for that is you don't want to point to, like for instance, GetResponse. You don't want to point to a GetResponse web page for people to sign up. It just doesn't look professional, number one. Number two, there's a strong possibility that it might get blocked or flagged on Facebook or any other social media sites, simply because it's not an actual domain that belongs to you. It belongs to another company. So make sure you know how to do that first. The second assumed skill that you'll need in order to accomplish this is you need to have a basic understanding of GetResponse campaign creation and its use. So you need to know how to use GetResponse, at least at a very basic level. Otherwise, what I'm getting ready to go through next may be a little over your head. Okay, still take notes. If you aren't familiar with GetResponse, still take notes and understand that there's some great training that I give, as well as other people that are on our team, on how to use GetResponse. And in fact, GetResponse itself has an excellent tutorial built into their software. All right, you also need to know how to create a PDF document. And I found that PDF documents are the easiest way to get information to somebody, specifically if it's an ebook or if it's a single page document, because they're safer. People are more trusting if it's a PDF, and they also can't change your document and make it their own very easily. So it's a good idea to create it as a PDF. All right, hopefully all of you are with me and you're following along well. All right, so we're going to go through the steps now. So your very first step is to determine what free gift that you will use. All right, so you need to decide if you're going to use a document, or maybe you want to have a hangout, a webinar, like you're going to teach somebody something, a book, an ebook, or a tool. So let me talk a little bit about documents. A document could be anything. It could be a simple one-page checklist. It could be some tips. It could be a page that contains a series of links or tools. It could be some knowledge that you have that you want to share. The document could even have pictures on it or links to videos or things like that. But basically, this is going to be a useful bit of information that your audience would like to have. Okay, so you have to think about your audience before you do this, because you don't want to just create something that nobody's interested in. You want to create something that has value, that people are like, oh wow, I can't believe he or she is giving this away. This is awesome. And so you want them to be really excited and want to give you their email address in exchange for this document that you've created. All right, you also, if you're going to do a training or a webinar, I recommend doing them live. You're going to have the most success that way because it seems more real. Now, if you do them live, I always recommend recording them. Everybody has a busy schedule, and it's hard sometimes for them to come to the hangout whenever you hold it. For instance, I hold mine at 1:30. It's quiet here at my home during that time, and it's just convenient for me. It may not always be convenient for you guys that are watching this today, but that's why I record it. So, if people want to, they can watch the recording and still get the information. Ebooks are great. People love them, and more people are using ebook readers today. So if you can create an ebook go for it, or use one of the Creative Commons ebooks that I told you about earlier. I actually have an ebook here. I'm going to show you another ebook that I have, and I'm going to take a look at that. And I use subdomains for a lot of my content giveaways. This is a book that I wrote called I Never Tell a Samurai to Surrender. And it's a book that basically is an inspirational book on how you can achieve your dreams despite the obstacles. And for this one, it's not very long. I don't think it's more than 25 pages. It's pretty short. I mean, it looks bigger than that. And you're probably wondering, well, how did you get that cool cover made? I actually went to a site called Fiverr. Let me just go there really quick as well. Fiverr.com. And I went to Fiverr, and I just literally, asked some, like you can do a search here and find people that make book covers. And all they do is they make a digital image of a book cover for you. You can get almost anything out here, and it only cost me $5, and they created this cover for my book. So really, really great tool is Fiverr. All right. I've gotten a lot of people that have downloaded my ebook, and this was a great way for me to kind of break the ice with new people, and especially with martial artists. I've got quite a few martial artists that have been interested in what I've been doing, and this was a way that I could kind of share my online business with that audience. All right, let me go back to my steps here. We've talked about documents and ebooks, tools. I haven't given away too many tools, but sometimes you can find some really cool apps that make sense for your audience. That maybe you just have a link or a free promotion. You could do a trade with an app creator, or maybe you've created your own app, and then you could allow them access to that. If you actually are in a business where you have tools that are already created for you, find a demo product or something like that where they can download that for free by giving you their email address. So these are just some ideas I'm throwing out there to you. Obviously, if you want to get leads today, I recommend picking something really simple and starting with that, and then you can always do other free gifts later on. And just a note, the best gifts are those that you create and are something that your audience would want. So think about the people that you're trying to hit as far as, who are they? What types of things do they like? But more importantly, what types of problems do they have that you could solve? And then think about what you could provide that would solve that problem or a portion of that problem. And then you've got something. You've got some good bait that's going to encourage them to provide their email address to you. All right, so how do you set all this up? So the key is, and I'm going to walk you through it here in just a second, the key is to create your opt-in page. You want to have a page that they're going to be able to enter in their email address. And once they enter that in, then it's going to take them directly to that product. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and open up my GetResponse account here. And I'm going to walk you through how to create one of those opt-in pages. All right, so the first thing you want to do is you want to come in here to all active subscribers, or whatever you've got as your current campaign. I've got a lot of different campaigns. You want to make sure you have a campaign that is exclusive for whatever you're going to give away for free. So for instance, I've got this one. Let's see, where did it go? Yeah, I gave away the Vision Workbook. So I actually created a campaign called Vision Workbook, in which every new lead that wanted my vision document, which was, let's see, was this one, How to Define Your Vision, they got added to that list. Now, after they've been there for a while, what I do, one of my best practices, is if they are continually opening my emails, then I add them to another list that I actually call All Active Subscribers. And by adding them there, then they basically become somebody that I know is going to open my emails. I do the contrary. If I add somebody to my list and they don't ever open the emails, then I actually move them after a period of weeks. I move them over to another campaign that I call Temporary Hold No Send. And what that does is it actually, I don't ever send anything to those folks. Once you're in that bucket, the only thing you're going to get is an email from me that says goodbye, or I'm sorry to see you go. And my whole point of that email is to try to encourage them to open my emails and, you know, just see if they're still even interested in what I have to offer. If not, and some people will put in a bogus email address just so you're aware, and they never actually open it. And if that's the case, then I recommend removing those people from your GetResponse account, because what's going to happen is if you've got a lot of people in your GetResponse account that don't open any of your emails, it's going to actually drive your open rates down. And if they get too low, GetResponse will think that you are spamming people, and they will actually, they could flag your account. So you don't want that. So be aware of that. It's just a bonus tip for you today. Make sure that you actually are cleaning up your list on a regular basis. Okay, I know I got a little deep on that, but once you're in to GetResponse, check this out. If you've got the full version of GetResponse, you have the capability to create web forms. So all you do here is I come into web forms. You can even create landing pages too. I have my own website, so I actually create with a web form, and then a web form, I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, I need to hit create new. So you'll hit create new. So I'm going to show you two versions. One is if you have your own website and you want to create an opt-in page on your own website. And the other is if you don't have a website of your own and you just want a link that's going to capture their email address. So this is if you have your own website. If you've got your own website, you'll come in here, and I don't know if you saw what I clicked on. I clicked on web forms and then create new. Okay, so in there you have a number of different templates that you can use. I would just pick the most simple, because you're just going to basically paste this box onto a page on your website. Okay, so what you'll do here is you'll just click edit the header, and you'll call it whatever. So let's just say it's the vision notebook. So I put or the vision document. Enter your, if I can type, enter your email to receive, before E except after C, to receive your free vision workbook. I don't really remember what it's called, but you get the idea. So, and you can make that bold, you can change the colors, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can just kind of play around in here. I usually leave it so that it collects both their name and their email. And the reason for that is I like to be able to personalize my emails. And there's a way to do that and GetResponse so that it actually says, Dear Ann or Dear Bill, so that it looks like I'm actually writing that person directly. And you can change this so that instead of saying sign up, you could make it say download now or something like that. Okay, and whatever else you want to change. When you're happy with it, and I'm not going to go through all of it, but when you're happy with what you've got here, the next thing you do is you're going to click on next step. And then you'll come up here, and unless you just want the standard default, I usually give it a name. So I'm going to call it the Vision Workbook, so I know where they're coming from. All right, and I don't want these turned on, so I just leave those off. Now here's the part that's really important, and you want to take notes on this. For your thank you page, you always want to select custom thank you page. The reason why is you want, after they enter their email address, you don't want it to go to thanks for subscribing to my list. You want it to go to what they think they're getting, which is the Vision Workbook in this case. So if you look up here, I actually have a URL for this Vision document. So I would copy that, go back to GetResponse, and I would paste the direct link to that Vision PDF right here as my custom thank you page. Now, for those of you who are saying, well, wait a minute, where did you get that link? How did you create that? The best thing that you can do is when you have your document or ebook or whatever it is, go ahead and either A, upload it to Dropbox and then get the link there right out of Dropbox. There's an area where you can click and it'll give you a unique link to that specific document. Okay, that's one way. The other way is to actually upload into Google Docs, and you can create anything in pretty much in Google Docs, and then in the editing tools in Google Docs, you can click on that and tell it that you want to be able to share that link, but not edit. You don't want anyone that goes to your PDF to be able to edit it. You just want them to be able to view it. So you'll click on that, and then it'll give you a link that you can then paste right here as your custom thank you page. Okay? All right, so once you have that there, the next step, click on next step, is it's going to actually give you some HTML code. So if you have a website, and remember, we're in the part where you already have a website and you want to paste this on there, or maybe you have a blog, you could actually paste this into your blog. Okay, so what you do is you're going to come over here and click I will install my web form. And then this is important. I have not had much success with the JavaScript code. You can try either one, but I typically use the HTML code right here. So this is a very long code compared to the JavaScript, but it seems to have been, to me, it's much safer, and that it seems to work better when I paste that onto my websites than the JavaScript. Try it either way, like I said. So I have not pasted this into my own blog, but I know that our viral blogging system does allow for HTML text. So you might try it out and see how it works, and then let us know how it works for you. I know you can do it as a widget on the sidebar, so that's something cool that you should be able to do. So you would just select all that, and then you would go to your website and actually paste that into an HTML box on your website. Okay, so that was one way to install that form. Make sure after you install it on your website, before you let people know about it, test it. Use your own email address and actually register on your box just like you're a person that came to your page. Make sure that after you register, two things should happen. Number one, it should immediately take you to the document, ebook, or whatever you're giving them. And number two, it should add them to your email list. So you'll want to go into GetResponse and look and see if they're there on your list. So if you're not familiar with GetResponse, that's going to be under contacts. And then you can search contacts, and then you can search under your vision workbook or whatever you called your campaign to see if you have anybody that's in there. And when you test it, your own email address should show up in there. Okay? All right, hopefully you guys are still with me. If not, like I said, this is recorded, so you can always go back and listen to a part that you missed, okay? We're gonna press on here. So let's say that you do not have your own website, or you're not sure how on earth to add this to your blog or something like that. So the other option that you have in GetResponse is you can actually create your own landing page. I'm gonna show you that next. So you're gonna come over here to landing pages, and you're going to click create. It's going to give you a million different templates here in GetResponse. The only one you really need to look for is the opt-in pages. You'll see on the left rail, there's a number of different choices. Just click on the one that says opt-in pages, and then choose one that you really like. So I'm just going to choose this one here. And it gives you this little monster while it loads your template. It's one of the funny things that GetResponse does. All right, so here we go. So it created this page for us. And one thing I will tell you that I recommend doing is getting rid of any extra buttons. The only thing that you want people to do is enter their name and email address and get access. You don't want this Facebook or Twitter. So if I hover over them, you'll see, and maybe small on the video screen for you, but when you hover over it, there's a little garbage can. So I'm going to click on that and get rid of these extra buttons. Okay, and you should be able to change the text here, and this looks great. Get instant access, that looks fine to me. And so when you're happy with it, you would just click, save and exit, or next step. And you obviously you could change that to say that vision workbook. Okay. All right. So, and once you're done, and I'm not going to change anything in the interest of time, but let's just call it vision opt-in. Okay. And I don't want any description really. I want this something that I'm going to promote, so I'm not going to make it searchable by search engines. And then down here, you can, what I typically do is I just use the link that they give me, and then I mask it with my own domain name. Okay, so what here you'll see here, it's going to give me vision_optin.gr8.com. So let's just go ahead and do that, and it'll make more sense. Don't forget with this, if you use this system, your thank you page should not be the default. You've got to change it down here to your custom thank you page, which is that vision workbook that I just told you about. So all I did was change this drop down to custom thank you page. I'm going to paste that custom URL right there. So that way when they enter their email, it goes right to what they're getting. And then I'm going to click publish. Okay, so now it's published. So all I got to do now is go right here to this link. So let's check it out. Copy that. Go right here. Hit return. All right, so here's my opt-in page for GetResponse. And so I would test this obviously before I started sharing this, and I would put my name, my email address, and then make sure that it goes to this page right here after they hit it. Okay, so now what? Now that let's assume you've tested it and it's working, the other thing you need to do as part of your steps is you need to mask this domain. And I would recommend if you're going to be promoting this like on a smartphone, if you think you have people that are looking at your opt-in page on a mobile device, I would recommend that you forward rather than just mask. This is a new trick I recently learned, that if you forward it, then it'll keep the opt-in page the size of your phone. Instead of if you forward with masking, it automatically makes that page look like a web page on your phone. So it's much smaller than if you just did forward. I hope that makes sense. But you can test both of it. It's something that you can learn how to do and test it and see which one works best for people on smartphones, as well as if you're just hitting people with desktop devices, then I wouldn't worry about the forwarding. Just do forward with masking. All right, so remember that was one of the things you'll need to know how to do already, so I'm not going to go deep on how to mask and forward, but I just wanted you to know that that's what I would do. I would not use this link in my promotions because it could cause problems. It looks sloppy. It's amateur. I want to have my own personal brand in everything that I do. All right, so now you know how to make the page. The next step is you want to make sure that you have autoresponders or an email that's set up for those people once they give you their name and email address. So I'm going to go back into GetResponse, and then I'm going to come over here to Messages. I'm going to click Create Newsletter. Actually, I take it back. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create autoresponder, because I want to create a message that automatically goes out when people sign up. Now, before I do this, let me go back to the dashboard. You always want to make sure before you create an autoresponder that you're on the right campaign. So I'm checking here to make sure I'm on the Vision Workbook campaign, and I am, so that's great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to go to Messages, Create Autoresponder. And look at this. It automatically starts with day 1, which is great. We want it to do that. I'm actually, let me see if it'll do 0. Yeah, better. I want it to be on day 0. So when they sign up, you want it to automatically send that email out immediately. And what that's going to do, it's going to send them a message that says, hey, thanks for subscribing to our list. Here's the ebook, or here's the vision workbook that you requested. You know, I look forward to getting to know you better, you know, something along those lines. So then you come in here, you click Create New Email. And then the subject line that I'd probably give it is, Here's your vision workbook. And you don't even have to fill anything for the message. This will automatically populate right here. Click next step. All right, so then I'm going to come down here, and then what I typically do is I already have some templates set up, but you can choose any of these templates. I like to keep my emails super, super simple. Let's see, I'm trying to find the one where you create your own. Oh, here it is. At the very top, start from scratch. That's the one I recommend if you're new to GetResponse. And then I would just go with the blank template right here. Okay, so all you do is you're going to grab a text block and pull that in. And then I don't like to have bold at the top, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then all I want to do is say, select all of it. Thanks for subscribing. Here is a link to your free vision workbook. And you can make it a lot more, more detailed than what I just did here, but I'm just giving you an example. And then what I usually do for the link is I do it two places. I make this a link here. So again, we've got this link. I'm just copying that, pasting right here. So now I made that a hyperlink. And then what I also like to do, and this is just my own personal style, and you're welcome to copy it if you want, is I like to drag from the left rail a button. Because I just think buttons are cool. People know what, they understand what that means usually to click on a button. And I usually leave a little arrow there. I'm going to change that color. I don't particularly like that green. Let's see, we'll make it a dark blue. Kind of looks purple. There. Okay, so, and I need to make sure I put the link here. There's that same link that I copied from up here. Hopefully you guys are still with me and you're getting some value out of this. So now I've got my vision workbook, and then what I usually do is I like to personalize this. For those of you that receive my emails, I always put Get Tough, because that's kind of my trademark. That means tough, unstoppable, fearless, and free. And then I put my name, and I put my I usually put all of my information in here, such as my Facebook account, so that people can link up to me on Facebook. I put my blog link. I also always include a PS, because if you have a PS, people are more likely to click on that. So just as an example, I might say for this one, PS. If you like this, you may be interested in my ebook. And then I would link that to my samurai book. So I would just click on that. Sometimes it's kind of finicky. You have to be careful where you move your mouse. And then here's my book, my ebook. Okay, there. So now, if they don't need the vision workbook, I'm giving them something else that they might be interested in. I might even, if I were to edit this, I'd probably put the title as well, so they get an idea what it's about. And I would also, for me, I usually put my own logo up here, and I usually put my photo. I don't know if I've got it handy, but let me see. I have templates already pre-created, so I don't usually have to go through all of this, but it's just giving you an idea. There you go. So there's my logo, and I created this myself just so that all of my emails have my brand on it, and they know that's from me when they get it. And I like to keep my brand in front of people because it adds congruency to what I do and who I am. All right, so this email, after I'm done, click next step. This is going to automatically go out to them when they sign up with their opt-in. That way they know that, you know, they have access to that book, because they may have gotten a hurry, or maybe they lost their internet connection and they didn't get, you know, your PDF right away. So by having this automatic email go out, now they're going to get that information. It's also creating that connection with them. And then what I recommend is that, you know, you start talking to them and getting that communication going. Once you have leads, and this is what I'm going to be talking about for the next call, which I'll be hosting next Monday. I do these calls or these hangouts every Monday at 1:30, and I'm going to be talking to you on what do you do now that you have leads. How do you talk to these people? How do you get people that you've added to your list to be interested in your products and buy from you? Because ultimately you want to have leads so that you can create customers and relationships with those people. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in our call, our hangout for Down and Dirty at 1:30 Central Time next Monday. So let me just go back to the steps here real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. So we already set it up so it's accessible via a unique link. You did that through Dropbox or your own website or Google Docs. We showed you today how to create your opt-in page. We showed you two ways, actually. One is if you're going to put it on your own web page or blog, and the other is if you're going to have your own link right through GetResponse. You could also do this, just for those of you that are more advanced that are watching this, you could create that opt-in page in ClickFunnels or Leadpages, which I actually like better than GetResponse because it has better reporting. But for the interest of time and ease, I'm trying to keep things simple. I just wanted to show those of you that are brand new how you can do it right through GetResponse. Make sure you make your thank you page point to your unique link of your product that you're giving away, your gift. Don't go to a thank you page. And then you need at least one email that's going to go out to your list right away. And your first email, in my opinion, that should be another link back to your gift. That way, in case they missed it or they didn't download it, they have that in their inbox. And that's a really good thing to do. All right, so the last step, and then we're going to close this hangout up because we've gone just a little over an hour now. The last step is you want to promote this. How do you promote it? You're going to take that link. So let's say that you created vision.yourdomain.com as your link, your masked or forwarded link. You're going to take that link and you're going to put it on your Facebook page. You're going to put a little message there. You might even put a snapshot of your document or your logo or something, and say, excuse me, and say, hey, I'm giving out a free vision workbook, and here's where you can get it. Click here, and you're going to include your link, including the HTTP, in your Facebook page. So if you've got your own page, if you've got a Facebook profile, and maybe you've got groups that you belong to, you're going to put that out there and invite people to download your gift for free. This is brilliant. I mean, it really works well, and it's going to help people to number one, they get excited if it's something of value that you're offering, and they're going to enter their email address, and you're going to have leads today if you can knock this out by the end of the day. The other thing I would add it to as many social media sites as you can, not just Facebook, although that's where I've had the most success. You're going to add it to Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, and make sure you have a good picture with it, because that attracts attention. Instagram, especially with Instagram, you've got to have a picture. Pinterest as well, or any other place that you're a member of that allows you to promote something of value. And it has to make sense. I mean, obviously, if you're giving away a vision workbook, you want to put it in places that people would appreciate it. They may not appreciate it if it's an auto parts store. So you want to make sure you're hitting the right audience. So I promised you if you stuck around till the end, I would give you a couple bonuses. So here's the bonus. I'm going to pull it up. So hopefully you can see this. Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. I don't know if I can, but I'll read it off to you. If you want to, you can expand the video so you can see the links. But this is a direct link to that vision document that I just showed you. I give you permission to copy that, use it as your own. That's for you. It's free for you. I actually created it myself, but I'm happy to let you use that and get some leads today. So the link is ow.ly/vision Muro3. That's M as in Mary, U-R-O, and then the number 3. That'll give you a direct link right to this document right here. And that's that 4-page document. Okay, so that's one. The other bonus is the link to the Think and Grow Rich book series. This is from Paul Hutchings. You can go there, and really the URL is just growrichaudios.com, and you want to go into the free download section. When you get into the free download section, you'll see all those books. I recommend downloading them yourself and then put them either in Dropbox or on a Google Doc, so that you have access to it, because you don't know if his site goes down. You don't want to drive traffic to his site. You want to drive traffic to your own. Okay? And then finally, a tip that I want to give all of you is that as people become your friend on Facebook, or as they like your personal business page on Facebook, a great way to get them to give you your email address is to actually send them a private message with a link to your free gift, and basically just say this. Like, for instance, if you want to give away one of the Think and Grow Rich books, you might say, hey, thank you for liking my Facebook page. Because I appreciate you, and I'm appreciating all the people who liked me on my Facebook site, I want to give you a free gift. Here's the Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill. It's really influenced me in my life. I'd like to give that to you for free. Click here. Isn't that a nice way to thank somebody? And now you're giving them a free gift that they can download, which when they go to download it, you get their email address. So now you've just completed that connection by getting a lead from them. So I hope this has helped you. I hope you found value. And I'm going to flip it back around so I can say goodbye and everything else. All right, I'm back. Hope you can see me here. I know I went kind of fast. I know this has been a little longer. I like to go, but I hope you found a lot of value in it. And again, this is Vishan Boris from Team Tough. And be sure to sit in on the next week, where I'm going to go through what do you do now that you have leads, your first leads. How do you convert those people? How do you get that relationship going? So with that, make it a great day, and we'll see you next week. Take care.